Greg Bear started work with me about 4 or 5 years ago. He came to us. He had a farm that was basically one of the worst crop farms in the county. It was run down. Soybean production on it wasn't profitable. He could not. He didn't have enough production out there to actually go in and run the combine. It was that poor of ground. And he went in. He limed. He fertilized. And Greg thought that what he could do, he could go in and establish chicory and ladina clover and alfalfa and red clover and archer grass and matua brome, and have a glorious mixture of everything he needed out there and have an excellent grazing system in a year. And as time progressed, a year later after he planted it, we went back and our assessment showed we had matua brome in the field. We had puna chicory and red clover, some ladina and alfalfa. We had no orchard grass, we had no fescue. He was under the impression of, well, I've got the best of everything. I've got the candy out here. I've got the ice cream of everything out here within the system. And we were running fecal sample studies on his farm, and from the fecal samples we were showing that protein levels were running in excess of 24–25% and digestibility is about 74%. Well, with that in mind, we thought, we've got a perfect system here. The cattle will gain. But what we found out is that our performance was going downhill. Cattle just were not performing the way they should have. And it really hit home to Greg and me about 2 years ago when we were turning cattle into a field of eastern gamagrass and ladina clover. Ladina clover made about 75% of the stand. Eastern gamagrass made up the rest. But we had some waterways, we had some edges of the field that had not been disturbed and had stands of old fescue there from the farming operation. And when we turned the cattle in, they'd go out and they'd selectively graze through there and they'd pick out the eastern gamagrass and some of the clover. But then all of a sudden the cattle would just make a beeline to this fescue that was really over mature for that time of the year and just nub it to the ground. And so it started hitting home with us that, hey, we had something that was missing in the diet of these livestock.
And I couldn't figure it out because it was all these clovers, and the guy would think that, well, it should be really good stuff for him, really make them gain, but it took us a while to figure out why. And what ended up happening was that we had more clovers than we had grass, and there was an imbalance in their diet. And they were consuming a lot more clovers than they were grasses, and it was too rich in protein.
So we went back in and we overseeded all the fields. We drilled in fescue. Most of those fields now have reverted to where we've got a very strong mixture of cool season grasses in those. So this has really helped us out quite a bit. And our performance, Greg said he can see his cattle on a daily basis just outperforming anything they've done in the previous 4 years.
The cattle are looking really good now. We're estimating they're gaining 2 pounds, maybe a little bit more a day on good days. And it's just a better balanced diet for them. They look better, they act better, and they're easier to control, it seems like, and everything's just working better.